Hello fantasy managers and welcome back to another video from myself, Will, and fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. As always in this video we're going to be taking a look at how my team got on last game week. Spoiler alert, it was not a pretty one. Before moving on to my team, my transfers and my captain ahead of the upcoming game week, let's get into it. Okay, so this was the train wreck of a game week in all its glory. Complete, pretty much disaster across the board. 38 points all out. You know, Salah and Trent were the only real ones that came away with any points, and they seem to be owned by everyone anyway. Double Chelsea defence not coming in at all. Rest of my defence, you know, Cancelo and Livramento only getting 2 points each. Rafinha coming away with an assist. Vardy and Jimenez with a grand total of 2 points between them. So yeah, pretty much a disaster. 38 points all out. A big rank drop from 78k to 120k. You know, a couple of game weeks ago, I was 60k. Now back down to 120k. It's not been a good couple of game weeks. Game week rank of 5.7 million. So not too good on that front either. Having said that, my goal for each season is to get to around the 100k mark by Christmas. And if I can do that, I'm pretty confident of getting to a top 10k finish. So all is definitely not lost. Still in a pretty good position overall. Looking forward now, I've got 2 free transfers, which I've already spent. So let's move on to my current team and how it's looking for the upcoming game week. First thing I should probably say, if you don't already know, which I'm sure all of you do know, is the Spurs game is off, is cancelled. So if you've got, the likes of Kane, the likes of Song, you might want to consider transferring them out. Potentially, those with Sanchez, you've got to think about what you've got to do with that situation. There's also a lot of players injured. I know there've been COVID cases for Leicester as well. I think that Leicester match will likely go ahead. But again, we've got to pay a lot of attention to the press conferences that are going to happen today. Obviously, that's going to be absolutely key for those making transfers. As you can see, I've already made my transfers. I've got Rafinha out and Jimenez out, who both of those guys had a ridiculously bad run of fixtures upcoming. And I brought in Bernardo Silva and Josh King, who got great fixtures and great form. There was a lot of thought and debate in my mind of whether to go with Bernardo or to whether to go with Gundogan. Bernardo, obviously everything he's touching seems to go in the back of the net at the moment. He's in a really rich vein of form. But, is that really sustainable? Actually, Gundogan has the better underlying numbers. So it was a little bit of a toss-up, and ordinarily I would actually go for the guy that has the better underlying numbers. But there's just something, about watching Bernardo Silva at the moment that, he's just in a really, really good, rich reign of form. And with Manchester City's fixtures, obviously I know Gundogan's got, the same fixtures, but I think there's every chance that he continues that. Look, Man City midfield options are a complete lottery, but I just thought, going Gundogan over Bernardo Silva might be a little bit overthinking it. The other part of that is, Bernardo Silva's price is sort of skyrocketing at the moment, so I did, want to jump on that. If he continues this rich reign of form over these fixtures, then, if I go Gundogan and don't go Bernardo Silva, and Bernardo Silva price keeps on increasing, then it's going to be more and more difficult to make that switch. So I went Bernardo. I think if you want to go Gundogan, potentially even Foden, although Foden, he's I would play close attention to Pep's comments in the press conferences. The other option that I did consider is actually Bowen from West Ham. Again, West Ham have a really nice run of fixtures now. He's in great form. He's also probably got better underlying stats than Bernardo Silva as well. So that was, a strong consideration for me. I think that he's, becoming a sort of a key cog in that West Ham machine as well. Are, the Man City guys likely to play all the matches over this very busy stretch? Potentially not. I think that Bowen is sort of slightly more secure. This is reasons that I were considering. I think that he's a fantastic option. I just thought there was slightly higher upside with Bernardo. But yeah, all 3 of those guys are great options, and I wouldn't begrudge anyone going for either of them. In fact, if you can double up on a couple of those guys, then I think it's a really, really good strategy at the moment. With my other free transfer, I went Jimenez to Josh King. Wolves fixtures really tighten up now. Jimenez has been in not particularly good form, and King's numbers are very, very impressive. I did look at Dennis very briefly, but King for me seems to be the main guy there at the moment. He's on penalties. His numbers are much stronger than Dennis. He's a little bit more expensive, but he's still pretty cheap. So I think he's a great option. Watford have got some really good fixtures. I would say, generally with this setup, I kind of would prefer to switch to a 4-4-2. My slight hesitancy with that is that I quite like having that expensive forward slot. I can actually afford the Vardy to Ronaldo move. And if there's any more information that Leicester match could be called off, as I said, that looks pretty unlikely at the moment. Then I may even do Vardy to Ronaldo for a hit. Ronaldo looking like a really, really strong option, with Manchester United have an insanely good run of fixtures sort of for the next 6 or 7 game weeks. So I'm very, very much considering Ronaldo. Again, is he going to play every game over this sort of busy festive period? I think Rangnick is likely to do a little bit of a rotation. But, it is Ronaldo. He's known to be a flat track bully against these weaker sides. Manchester United have got the new manager bounce as well. So all the signs are kind of pointing towards that Ronaldo is a really, really strong option at the moment. And to contrast that, Vardy has been very, very mixed form, to say the least, especially over the last couple of game weeks. He's still getting opportunities, and I think Newcastle is a good fixture for them. But I think I'd probably prefer to have Ronaldo in my team at the moment. I also think that there's potentially interesting options at Manchester United in Rashford, potentially even Sancho. Do feel like they're a little bit risky. They haven't really got the numbers to back them up. Maybe if you're looking for another defender, then Dalot could be an option as well at 4.4. Looking like he's Wan-Bissaka is stretched off midweek. Potentially Dalot is a little bit more attacking, kind of fits Rangnick's system a little bit better. And United have that really, really nice run of fixtures. I do think there are a lot of good options in defence. So I wouldn't necessarily jump in, but if you're looking for a 4.4, want to save a little bit of money, then he could be an interesting option as well. I've seen a lot of people taking out Antonio as well, and I could have done that. I could have gone for Antonio to King instead of Jimenez to King. And if you look at Antonio's numbers from the first or 7 or 8 games to the last 7 or 8 games, I mean, they're just ridiculous. The drop off in the shot volume, the drop off in big chances, the drop off in expected data is just insane. He's gone from absolute sort of superhero of a fantasy asset to absolutely nowhere, which is a little bit difficult to explain. I know West Ham's fixtures have been a little bit trickier over the recent ones especially. What I would say to that is that he's still spearheading that attack. West Ham are still a good side. They do now go on a really nice run of fixtures, and I think that he's got the potential to get back into that sort of form. So I'm actually quite happy to hold him. I think that he's a good asset. Hopefully, with Bowen coming into a good bit of form, those two can link up together and get good fantasy points as well. In terms of captaincy, I think Salah's a little bit of a no-brainer. There isn't a real reason to move away from him. Potentially, you could look at Ronaldo against Norwich if you have him. And I think Ronaldo over the next 8 fixtures or so is going to be a captaincy option. We've also got to consider that Salah will be going off to the African Cup of Nations at some point. We don't exactly know where that is at the moment. But potentially then Ronaldo also becomes sort of a captaincy option a little bit later down the line as well. But otherwise, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, then please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already for more great videos. We've got an incredible bunch of videos coming out at the moment from the rest of the team, so please do go check those out. Good luck for the upcoming game week, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now.